All right, so we're going to go over vertex painting today. And vertex painting is, you can yield some amazing results. It's kind of essential, necessary, um, vital even for doing a pretty game, having your terrain look varied. I think we've all had that situation where we started doing 3D and we're like, this is all going to be grass. And then you put a grass texture on it and it looks horrible. So that's what vertex painting is fixes. A lot of the big companies use it. I'll just, instead of talking, I'll just start showing you what it's about. All right. So we're just making a plane here and we'll get close to it. So here we are. So painting the verts, it's not actually like painting a texture in Photoshop or anything like that. What you're doing, and you do it in the engine, is you're painting a value, an RGB value, sometimes alpha value, and it will calculate what textures are drawn. So in this example today, we're going to make a three-way texture or shader, and it's going to use these three textures. This dirt one, this kind of mossy one, and this hay one or weedy one that I'm not too fond of, but this is just for an example. And here's what our shader is going to look like. And I'll get into that when we get into Unreal. All right, so we just need to make this simple plane. I'm going to put, I'm going to do actually just a little dip in this. It will be concave, however, in Unreal, so Unreal won't know how to deal with that collision. All right, so we have that. I could even, no, I'm not going to do that. All right, so let's see, make sure that it tessellates. Yep, looks like it's working well. And then let's export it. Export selection, export it as an FBX. Environments, vertex painting, we'll do 3. All right, there we are. And we'll close Maya and we'll go into Unreal. And we're going to import our our tessellated plane. That looks good. Bring it in. Okay, and then let's put it on the ground. It's going to be a little on the tiny side, so I'm going to raise it size. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, then we need to adjust the collision for it. No big reason to, but it's just kind of nice. I think that's how it works. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have our mesh right there. What we need to do is we need to create the shader. So let's look for our information here. We have the textures that I was talking about. Here's one of them, the other, and the last one. Those are our 3 textures. And then we're going to modify our shader, or material, to look a little bit like this. All right, so let's go through it. We first take, oh, I see, and a parameter on there that we don't want. Remove that parameter. We'll take our 3 textures and we'll just move it right onto that gray area. Now the thing here that's important to know is that this is a very simple shader. You can do a lot more complex things I've seen people do. It also doesn't have any normal maps or anything on there, so it's just going to be pretty simple. So let's start making it. First, first off, we need to create a texture coordinate node. So we go text coordinate, texture coordinate. There we go. So these are the coordinates that are coming out of the mesh that we have. And then we're going to input that into all of these texture samples. And now we're going to put in a vertex color node. Now this is representing the colors that are in each of the vertices that are in the mesh. So here's what we need to do. We're going to use a thing called the LERP, which is linear interpolation. Basically what you take is you get an input in A and an input in B, and depending on what the alpha is that is coming in here is what will come out. It's basically like a, I don't know, a bit logical. So we have one there. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to paste another one, and then paste that one. And let's start with the output of the vertex colors. So we'll take the blue and we'll put that into alpha of this LERP. We'll take the green and put that into the alpha of this one. We'll take the red, put it into the alpha over here. So you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. And then we're going to take the output of this and we're going to put it into base color. All right, we have this one set up. So now we'll take the output of this LERP and put it into A, the output of this one, and put it into A there. And we're getting closer. Now we'll take the output of our third texture here, the RGB output, we'll put it into B, that LERP, and then we'll take the output of this one, put this one into B, and we'll take the output of this one, put this one into B, and then we'll also take the output of this one and put this into A. And there we are. That is our 3 texture material. Now the thing, so then I'll show you what we do with that next. But the thing is, if we look at it here, it looks a little metallic, like it's painted onto like a metal ball. So what I'm going to do is just zero out the specular by holding down 1 and the left mouse button and input that into specular. You'll see a change. There we are. So there's no more, it's all very flat. So we're going to apply that. And we'll save it. And then we will close that. And there's our new one. And you can see it's already applied there. So what we want to do is we want to paint right on this object. So we go to the paint tool up here, or paint mode rather, and if I go over to color view mode, you'll see the RGB channels are over here. I can paint in here and you can see the green showing up. If I go back to off, you can see that I've now just painted a little bit right into that, onto that texture. If I go over here, you can see it's continuing. The strength is the thing. Let's see if I do 0.5. There you go. You can see now I'm painting a lot more. So that's how you make varied textures. I can also have 3 of these all in a row. Let's put them together. I'm just going to do 2. And then I'm going to paint a little path, little path down the middle. Cut down the mightiest tree with a herring. And let's see here. So we're going to, let's look at the RGB channels for these guys. I have to have them both selected. And let's do a paint color all back to 0. So green, you need that a little larger. Okay. And then we'll turn this on. So green is that foliage. That's the grass. And I think then if we do red, what do we have if we do red? Nothing. Yeah, but if we do blue, oh yes, this is how you also can change it. If you change the paint color over here, so 0, 255, then we should be able to change it. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now if I change that back to 0, 255, and I change that. There we go. There's our dirt color. So our path is going to be right in the middle, and we just paint it right along. Make that at like 30 or so. All right, now I'll change this to, I forget what it was, I think it was green. And then I'll just paint the sides up. Probably don't need to be too heavy-handed like that. There we are. Probably put just a tiny bit in the middle. We could also then, once we're done with that, we can go to our foliage, and we can add some more foliage on top of this. There we are. Probably don't want any foliage right in the middle, so I can erase those guys. And then let's play. Looks pretty cool. So just imagine a whole scene that looks like that. It was when people started using this. First time I used it was Unreal, when we were making America's Army at secret level, and that was insane. Before we did painting on textures, what we did was we would have transition pieces, and we would lay polygon on top of polygon. Yeah, that was very time consuming, and it did not look a fraction of how good this looks. So there you are. There is Vertex Painting, and enjoy and make some beautiful environments.